So the question is the pro-choice position a logical position? And you could go a couple ways with this. At first glance, I might say, well, yeah, I mean, you could believe the pro-choice position without actually being irrational. I mean, there are, logical arguments you could marshal for the pro-choice position, but I would say that it's not the correct position, obviously. So if we're going to say is it logical, while yes, you could believe it without actually being irrational, it's not the correct position you could take once you account for all the evidence, and so in that sense, it's not really logical because it doesn't make the best sense of the evidence or proper reason that we have. The pro-life position is that abortion is wrong because it intentionally takes the life of an innocent human being. So the only way to get around that is if you could prove that the unborn are not innocent human beings, which of course you can't do because science has shown since the mid 1800s that life begins at fertilization, at conception. So the science of embryology is clear that that embryos and fetuses are full human beings from the point of conception. So the only way to get around that is to show that these aren't innocent human beings, which can't be done because the evidence is squarely in the camp of the pro-life advocate. So the only way a pro-choice person could argue against this is by arguing that a woman's right to bodily autonomy supersedes the right to life of the unborn human being, or that in some way that they're not actual persons, that they don't have rights, even though they're biological human beings. And both of these don't really get around the problem because arguing for bodily rights, well, bodily rights does not justify killing an innocent human being. You can't just kill someone because they're blocking your way through a door. So you can't just get around the pro-life argument by arguing bodily rights because killing an innocent human being is not covered by bodily rights. And then if you want to go the personhood angle, well, that doesn't get around it either, because great offenses and great tragedies and human rights abuses have been done in the name of calling some subsection of humanity non-persons. You had the Holocaust, where Jews were killed and were labeled subhuman weeds by Nazis. You had chattel slavery in the United States, in which Black people were not considered to be full persons under the law. So arguing that abortion is justified because the unborn are not persons, well, you'd have to be absolutely sure that this one time in human history, you actually have it right, who's not a human person. And I just don't think that there's any real way you can argue for that. So considering that there have been great abuses in the past for personhood, it seems that the modern attempt to label embryos and fetuses as non-persons, or subhuman tissue or whatever, just doesn't work, because if you believe in true human equality, you have to believe in human equality for all humans, not just some humans that you want to be able to oppress, or get around this idea of persons, or rights, or anything like that. So I think that the pro-life position is secure and it's logical, and the pro-choice attempts to get around the pro-life argument that abortion is wrong because it kills an innocent human person, just none of the responses work. And so for that reason, it's not really a logical position, because the pro-life argument is logically valid, it's logically sound, and any attempts for bodily autonomy or personhood are just irrelevant logical fallacies, essentially.